Bellevue police say one of the best clues came from a TikTok video made to Young Miami's viral song Spin Dat about boosting and scamming.
All right. Bellevue organized retail thieves face new charges. Fox 13 Seattle. All right, man. So I think it's a couple things that need to be discussed with this right here. And I'm just going to allow the news anchorman to go through it. But I believe that we do definitely need to speak about a few things when it comes to this. Because I do believe there's some merit in this.
The most prolific organized retail thieves in Western Washington is facing new charges. Janice Downs, a.k.a. Janice Smith, a.k.a. Punchy, is back in jail after just getting released from prison in January. Bellevue police say one of the best clues came from a TikTok video made to Young Miami's viral song Spin Dat about boosting and scamming. Bellevue police say this video shows Janice Wiley holding two stolen Louis Vuitton purses. It was posted 5 days after detectives say her daughter, Janice Downs, and an unidentified suspect stole the bags worth more than $7,000 from North.
Okay, before we even go on with the thievery and the theft, being that she just got out of prison and this is genetically put in them, and I say genetically because it says a mother and a daughter, but how foolish is this from a just the outside looking in, right? You just get out of prison and you're on TikTok with the stolen items, dancing to a hit song that's talking about stealing. And that's the part I want to get to, man. That's the part I really want to get to. I want people to really understand. I don't want to say that we childish, but I do want to say that it's something going on, and adopting this type of music. It's like, let's go back real quick because look how grown this woman looks, bro. But she's still listening to this type of music and doing these type of things. And this is what I want to say. I know people want to say that this music, no, it's not doing that and this and that. But you can tell a lot by a person by the music that they listen to, right? You can tell a lot by if I go to a group of young, let's just say young melanated men, and they just playing nothing but thug, drug dealing music, and they're in an environment like that, it's almost safe to say that they have some type of street ties or something like that. And it's the same like if you listen to some white dude listening to rock and roll, bro, they might be a little crazy. They might be cool, but I met some that are a little crazy. But this social media and music, I don't think this has been a good thing for us as a people, right? I truly don't. You got this grown woman. I almost think it's trapping us in a childish teenage mindset, bro. You know what I mean? And only reason I'm saying that because it's a cool beat, and these things become affirmations to a rhythmic beat, right? So you keep repeating these things all day, every day, right? And then so anything you keep repeating to yourself over and over, you eventually, for the most part, getting to absorb, become, believe, things like that. So my people, we keep listening to this music every day on a beat, probably a catchy beat with catchy words, and it becomes it goes from rhythmic to hypnotic. All right, and this is a grown woman who has genetics of stealing, I guess, and I don't know where it come from. I don't know what they're doing, and this is just an example of the detriment of using that music in the social media, man. It could be a good thing, but we're using it in the wrong way, I believe.
Bellevue police say this video shows Janice Wiley holding 2 stolen Louis Vuitton purses. It was posted 5 days after detectives say her daughter, Janice Downs, and an unidentified suspect stole the bags worth more than $7,000 from Nordstrom in downtown Seattle. And 2 days after Downs showed the purses on her Instagram account.
For us, she's a prolific, organized career theft criminal, and so we're very familiar with her.
That's because Bellevue PD Special Enforcement Team busted Downs and her mom 2 years ago for a major organized retail crime spree. They were accused of stealing more than $500,000 worth of Lululemon clothing. Downs pleaded guilty to 6 counts of organized retail theft. She was sentenced to 33 months in prison with 501 days credit for time served and was released in January. Bellevue PD Captain Landon Barnwell says just 4 months later, Downs was back to her old ways.
You would think that, after what she experienced in 2024, that, hey, that maybe, she would change what she's doing. But again, clearly she hasn't chosen to do that.
Court documents show Bellevue PD Detective Jeff Christensen recognized Downs in a bulletin sent out by Tukwila Police showing thieves stealing almost $4,000 worth of fragrances from Macy's. See the shower cap she's wearing? He had a similar photo of her from his case 2 years ago. Working with their regional law enforcement partners, he says he then identified Downs in similar thefts at the Macy's in Tacoma and the downtown Seattle Nordstrom.
People don't just commit crimes in one location, right? I mean, especially when it comes to, the retail theft related crimes, right? They bounce around to many of the retailers in this entire area.
In the Nordstrom theft, detectives say surveillance video shows Downs wearing a burqa as a disguise. Detectives say the surveillance video shows how Downs and her accomplice cooperated to steal the purses, distracting the clerk by asking to see other bags on the shelves behind him. When he turned his back, watch as the accomplice smoothly slips the handles of one of the purses over her arm. After he shows them a second bag, he puts it back on the shelf. When he went to the front sales counter, police say Downs walked over, made sure he wasn't looking, and grabbed the purse, then held it down low on the right side of her body, opposite over where the clerk was standing. Her accomplice then moves over next to her, takes the handbag, and exits the store with both of the stolen purses. A few seconds later, Downs follows her out. On June 12th, Bellevue police arrested Downs and her mom. Detectives located them in the parking lot of Westfield South Center Mall. Court documents note that Downs was wearing the same burqa, black-colored sandals.
I mean, the fruit don't fall far from the tree, but I wonder if it was her mother who influenced her to become that. But anyway, it doesn't really matter, man. We gotta, if you're around it and you could get easily influenced by it, but it seemed like they didn't even get better. It seemed like they went to jail and did the exact same thing as far as like the type of attire they're wearing while doing it. But I will say this: at least they hitting stuff for like thousands and stuff, and it's not super petty. But at the end of the day, it's still not good though.
And her white painted toes matched her appearance from the Nordstrom theft.
We will hold you accountable, and we're not going to tolerate people that commit crimes here in our community.
Ma'am, is your true and correct name Janice Smith, a.k.a. Janice Downs?
We'll stipulate to name and date of birth for purposes of arraignment only.
In court, King County prosecutors charged Downs with organized retail theft in the first degree. Her defense attorney asked the judge not to allow our camera to show her client's face.
And I do want to ask the court to not allow the media to film in order to preserve Ms. Smith's right to a fair trial. Our position is that allowing the media to film increases the likelihood of tainting a jury pool if this were to go to trial. Of course, the jury would be instructed to not do any research on their own. However, there's nothing that the court can do to prevent them from doing that, and if there is media allowed to report on the story, I think it would just increase the likelihood that somebody would either intentionally or accidentally come across the story and read about the alleged charges here.
Wait, so are you asking for an order just not to film, or that they not be allowed to report on it?
My request
Because that's a prior restraint that the court just cannot do in any case for any reason.
Sure. My request, to be clear, was just to not allow the media to film Ms. Smith. If the court is inclined to allow the media to film, our alternative request is to require that the media be instructed to only film Ms. Smith from the shoulders down.
Understood, thank you.
Judge Joe Campagna denied her motion.
The media has a right to be here and to film. I don't find that there's anything particular about this case that would warrant the court restricting that for this hearing and in this case. But certainly, as I said, you can explore all those topics if and when this matter is called for trial.
Downs remains in jail on $215,000 bail. $75,000 of that is for a fugitive warrant out of Oregon. She's charged there with 16 counts of organized retail theft, aggravated theft, and theft.
At the end of the day, we're hoping that we're preventing crime here in Bellevue because, we know it's not a matter of if they're going to.
Well, yeah, that's just what I wanted to touch on when it came to that, as far as the effects of social media and wanting to be in the spotlight and wanting to do the things that you're hearing that these rappers say do and stuff. The same thing that happens to the young male who listens to this type of music and ends up crashing out or going to prison trying to be cool like these rappers. And, this is the same thing. They became a victim of it in a different way. I'm not gonna say Young Miami made them do it, but you know, they think this stuff is cool because they hearing these celebrated people do this, and it's just not cool. And it's really not cool for us, right? It's really not cool for us being what we've been through, where we're at, whether that's reality or perception. We got to understand where we at, and we need to move a lot better, and we need to do things that are best for us. And um, you know, I'm just gonna bring this up real quick, and then we're gonna move on to the next video. But uh, with the Jewish community, something that I seen that they did in the Jewish community, although they say it as if it's a ethnicity now, but it's truly a religion, but they're trying to make it secular now, but that's not the point. But the point is, in their communities, I don't know if they still do this. I seen this a few years ago, is that they don't give their children smartphones into a certain age. Like they have the old Nokia, old flip phones and things like that. You know what I mean? To protect them from these evils that get in your brain, man. I'm telling you, man, you have to protect the young before these things get in their brain, because your brain is like a computer, and if you allow a virus to get in, hey, you got to deal with that computer.